Okay, think about this for a second. You spent years learning English. You know the grammar, your vocabulary is huge, but when you speak, there's still that little bit of stiffness, right?
That gap, the gap between knowing the words and making them sound natural.
Exactly. You know, the writer Goethe once suggested that the limits of your language are the limits of your universe. And that's what we're talking about today.
It's such a critical point, and that's why we're here. Welcome to this deep dive, which is really custom tailored for you, the advanced learner who wants to close that gap.
We want to unlock that high-impact vocabulary that turns what you know into confident, relaxed speech.
And we're not going to do that by just throwing, endless vocabulary lists at you.
No, definitely not. This is all about efficiency. We're focusing on just two, of the most critical areas that often get overlooked: phrasal verbs and collocations.
And there's a good reason to focus on them. I mean, the stakes are pretty high. Winston Churchill said that your understanding is, to a very large degree, determined by your vocabulary.
And the motivational speaker Jim Rohn, he took that even further. He argued that a limited vocabulary leads to a, and I quote, limited vision and a limited future.
That's powerful stuff.
It is. So our goal here is simple. Break those limitations. We want to help you get to that point where you're speaking English and you just feel completely confident and relaxed.
Okay, so let's dive in. The first major hurdle for almost everyone is, of course, phrasal verbs. PVs for short.
Right. And the technical definition sounds so simple, doesn't it?
It does. It's deceptive. I mean, a phrasal verb is just a group of words, a main verb plus a particle like an adverb or preposition that acts like a single verb.
But that's where the simplicity ends. Because the real problem is that they're idiomatic. They're unique to English and Germanic languages, and the meaning, well, it often has nothing to do with the main verb.
That's the key. The idiomatic nature is the hurdle. Let's use a classic example, breakup.
Okay.
If you hear Tom broke up with Jenny, you immediately know he ended their relationship.
Right. But if you think about the words literally, it's just bizarre. It doesn't mean he, broke her into tiny pieces.
Exactly. So the key is to stop thinking literally and find the underlying figurative logic. The core idea of breakup is separation or dissolving a connection.
Ah, okay. So once you have that core idea, you can apply it elsewhere.
Yes. So what do you do when people are fighting?
You have to break up the fight.
Yeah.
You're separating them.
You're separating them. Or what if you're on a bad phone call?
The line keeps breaking up.
Yeah.
The connection is dissolving.
See? Once you find that core logic, separation, continuation, removal, whatever it is, they stop being random. There's a system to it.
That makes it so much more manageable. It's not just memorization anymore.
Understanding that logic is half the battle. The other half is the mechanics, the rules.
Okay, so let's break down the types. I know there are 4, but let's keep it simple. The first split is transitive versus intransitive, right?
Right. Transitive means it needs a direct object. You can't just say, I look after. You have to say, I look after my sister.
My sister is the object.
Okay.
And intransitive.
Needs no object. The action is complete on its own. Like, when I grow up, that's it. It's a full thought.
Simple enough. Then the next division is separable or inseparable.
And only transitive verbs can be separable. For example, you can say, turn off the light. Or
turn the light off. Both works.
Both work. But then you have inseparable ones. And what's interesting here are the 3-word phrasal verbs.
Ah, yeah. Yes. These sound intimidating?
They do, but they're actually the easiest to manage because they have a simple rule. They are always inseparable.
Always. No exceptions.
Always. You can't move the pieces. And they're so efficient. Think about get along with.
It just means have a good relationship with.
Yeah, but it's faster, more natural, or in a business context come up with. You don't say, I invented an idea. You say,
I came up with an idea. So the object, the idea, has to come after the whole phrase. You can't split it.
You can't. And speaking of splitting things, we have to cover the most important rule of all, the pronoun rule.
This is the big one. This is the one that I think immediately tells a native speaker, you're still learning, even if everything else is perfect.
It really is. So, with a separable verb, you can say, I picked up Sophie, or I picked Sophie up. Fine. But if you use a pronoun,
it has to go in the middle. You can only say, I picked her up.
You can only say, I picked her up. Saying, I picked up her is, well, it's a dead giveaway. It just sounds wrong to a native ear.
It's about the rhythm of the language, isn't it?
It is. It's all about flow. And that rule is ironclad. Okay, so that brings us to context. When should you actually be using these?
In most day-to-day situations, right? Casual speech, emails to friends, that sort of thing.
Exactly. They are the backbone of informal English. But if you're writing a formal academic paper or a serious business proposal,
You'd want to avoid them. Use postpone instead of put off.
precisely.
Okay, that's a perfect place to pause for a second. Before we get into learning strategies, we just want to say if this deep dive is helping you, if you're finding it useful,
Which we really hope you are.
please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. It tells us we're on the right track, and honestly, it helps us keep making content that's designed specifically for you.
It really does. Thank you. So, strategy. How do we learn all of these?
Well, the worst way is just trying to memorize a giant A to Z list,
A terrible idea. The most effective method is learning them in clusters.
grouping them by the main verb. So you'd study all the phrasal verbs with take or all the ones with put.
Exactly. And doing that shows you just how incredibly versatile one little verb can be. Let's take take.
Okay.
How about take after?
That's about resemblance, right? Like she takes after her father. She's similar to him in character or looks.
Perfect. Now, what about take back? Completely different. It can mean two things.
Okay, one is to retract something you said. Like, you're right, I'm sorry, I take it back.
Yep. And the other is more about memory. A song or a smell can.
Take you back to a certain time, it makes you remember something.
Right. And you see the logic. Taking something back, either a statement or your mind. Then there's a professional one, take down.
Ah, to write notes. The secretary was asked to take down the minutes of the meeting.
Exactly. And my favorite one for business, take off.
When a project or a company suddenly becomes really successful, the new app really took off.
And that links so nicely to the literal meaning of a plane taking off, doesn't it? That sudden upward trajectory.
It does. It's a great analogy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, one more from that cluster. Take in.
To absorb or understand something, especially something surprising. It took him a moment to take the news in.
You absorb it into your mind. This cluster strategy really works. You're not just learning 5 random verbs, you're learning 5 variations on one theme.
Okay, so we've spent a good amount of time on phrasal verbs, but as we said at the start, that is only half the story.
Right. Let's shift gears to the other pillar of fluency, collocations. This is where you go from speaking correct English to speaking truly natural English.
Absolutely. Collocations are just, well, they're word partnerships. Words that are so frequently used together that they just sound right to a native speaker.
Like, we don't say strong rain, we say...
Heavy rain. We don't drink dark coffee. We drink black coffee.
But I have to ask the practical question here. If someone understands strong rain, why does this matter so much?
Yeah.
What's the real value for an efficient learner?
There are, I think, 4 huge reasons. First, they are absolutely packed with meaning. They let you say a lot with just a few words.
Okay, packed with meaning. What's number 2?
They're just incredibly common. You cannot listen to or read English without encountering them constantly.
And number 3 is, for me, the most important one. They are often impossible to guess from context.
So true. If you've never heard the phrase due time, you would never guess it means serve a prison sentence. You have to learn it explicitly.
Right. And what's the 4th reason?
Our sources say that English exams like TOEFL or IELTS use them all the time to test your real ability. They test if you've actually absorbed the language, not just the rules.
Okay, so let's look at some examples. How about in the deep end?
Great one. Literally, it's a swimming pool. But figuratively, it means starting a new, difficult job with no training or support.
Like being thrown in and told to sink or swim. On my first day, they just threw me in the deep end. It captures that whole feeling in one short phrase.
It does. Or a common one, make a fuss.
To complain or cause a commotion about something, usually something small. Please don't make a fuss.
Exactly. Then you have noun phrases that are packed with cultural meaning, like black sheep.
Not a literal sheep, it's the person in a family or group who is different, who doesn't quite fit in.
And it carries that whole backstory with it. Or going back to the legal theme, you have simple ones like against the law. Or the one we mentioned, due time.
We also have more sophisticated ones like draw heavily from.
Meaning to be very influenced by something. The architect's design draws heavily from classical styles. It just sounds so much more advanced than saying he was very influenced by.
It really does. So let's wrap up by reinforcing that clustering strategy for collocations too.
Definitely. Let's take the letters K and L. Instead of just learning the verb keep, learn its partners. You don't maintain health, you.
You keep fit.
You don't maintain confidentiality, you.
You keep a secret. The verb choice makes all the difference.
Totally. And the same for lose. If you're overwhelmed by emotion, you might lose control.
Or, in a different context, a CEO who makes bad decisions might lose control of the company. Same phrase, different meaning.
Exactly. And finally, think of long. You have the adjective-noun pair, long-term for the future.
But then you have the verb phrase look forward to for anticipating something good. It's so much more natural to say, I'm looking forward to the vacation
Yeah.
than I am anticipating the vacation.
It is. We understand that this can be, well, it can be frustrating, learning these phrases that, as our source says, often bear little resemblance to the main verb.
It's hard work. We want to acknowledge that. You're putting in the effort to make these connections.
And we really want to show some empathy here for you, the learner. Every single fluent speaker had to go through this exact process. You're building that linguistic muscle memory.
And mastering these phrases is, without a doubt, the most direct path to that relaxed, confident English we talked about at the beginning. So please, keep going.
You're closer than you think.
And if this deep dive helped you connect a few more of those dots today, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps us bring this kind of targeted knowledge directly to you.
And to leave you with a final thought to chew on, we talked about the verb put. We know put off means postpone, put up with means tolerate, and put down means to humiliate.
3 totally different meanings.
Radically different. So here's the question. What other single common verb in English can you think of that has 3 such different and widely used idiomatic meanings? Let that question fuel your next study session.
Until next time, keep digging.